Hello, everyone. I'm Anthony Treyas, and welcome to another day of the New Man Health Summit. I'm really excited about this information that we are giving out to men as they are discovering new information that is allowing them to thrive and to empower them to thrive. And that's really the theme of this summit. And I appreciate all the messages and the emails that I've received so far from men who are having these aha moments and beginning to realize the changes that they need to make, and these little bits of information that they're receiving and that they're taking and utilizing. And that's really what this summit is all about. I know as for men, it often takes us a number of times to see something, and that's just everybody, to information that will help them and can help them, and that's what this is all about. And I'm really excited today to be talking with Dwayne Klassen, who is doing a remarkable job with the Remarkable Man Project, and he'll be sharing that with us. And so I'm very excited to be bringing him on today. And so let's get this started. So Dwayne, you are on. How are you, sir?
I'm doing awesome, Anthony. And I have to tell you, I'm really honored to be a part of the New Man Health Summit. You're doing some amazing work here, and it's truly an honor to be invited and be a part of this.
Well, excellent, Dwayne. I appreciate you and the time that you're taking to share your information with men. As I've told you but from the very beginning, that this is about giving information to men that will help them, to empower them to thrive. And to really, as you know, as someone who's in the business of helping men to do this, you know that there is a huge need for this, and that men are suffering and men are being held back from really living their full potential. And so I'd like to take this minute, if you would, just take a brief minute or two to introduce yourself.
Sure. Well, my name is Dwayne Classen. I am the coach for men. My purpose and my passion is to essentially inspire men to live remarkable lives. And I'm the founder of the Remarkable Man Project. I am an author. I have a book out called The Remarkable Man: Champions to Women, Heroes to Children, and Brothers to Each Other. And just like you say, there is so much going on in regards to where men are at. And the challenge that we have right now, Anthony, is that as much as men are feeling more challenged, more frustrated, more confused as to what it means to be a man in today's world, conversely, women right now are unstoppable. In fact, we live in the age of the empowered woman, and she's just rocking it, doing amazing things. And what I'm noticing is these two worlds are colliding. And for a lot of guys, relationships right now are completely unsustainable, just simply the way guys are showing up. And so I've made it my mission, if you will, to really help men with the resources, the tools, and the brotherhood that they need to be remarkable, so they can step up their game and truly be the champion to the women in their lives, and to be the hero to their children.
Yeah. So Dwayne, why, in speaking about the Remarkable Man Project, why did you feel compelled to create this project?
Well, I'll give you the Coles Notes version, Anthony, in regards to what I call my perfect storm. About 2008, I had a multi-million-dollar outdoor advertising company, and I ended up losing it to crooked partners. I won it back, but they had destroyed it. While that was happening, I found out my 7-year-old son from a previous relationship wasn't mine. And at that time, I was also in my dream relationship. I was engaged to my goddess at the time. Yeah. And for the guys out there, you can relate to that alpha energy. And when I met her, I was that guy. Yeah. I was that guy, and she was an alpha woman. So she needed a guy on par or above in order for her to feel that sense of feminine energy, that goddess energy. And it was great. But because of the company and my son, the situation there, I tanked. I lost my mojo. I lost my sense of identity and who I was as a man. And no matter what I did, and some of you guys might be going through this, it's like you're just trying everything, but nothing's landing.
Mm.
And even in our pop culture, it says, yes, dear, make sure she's happy, happy wife, happy life.
Yeah.
But meanwhile, nothing's working. And she's just kind of going, she's giving the gag reflex because I didn't know how to show up. Mm. So anyway, I ended up going in the friend zone in that relationship. Yuck. And she ended up moving away to the other side of the country. And, okay. But a previous part of me, I was a speaker, I was a trainer at a seminar company, and I was always surrounded by good people. And they said, Dwayne, you're better than this. What are you going to do? What's next for you? So I started looking around, Anthony, and I'm going, well, all these empowered women are all associated with all these amazing networks and women's organizations.
Yes.
What do guys have? What's out there for guys?
Right.
And I looked around, and it was almost as if it was like, hey, Dwayne, I know a guy who knows a guy, and he knows a guy that belongs to this men's organization. You should check it out.
Yes.
And I did. And it was every cliche you can imagine about what a men's group is about. It was a bunch of guys in a circle in a church basement, but it wasn't affiliated to the church. Yeah. But they were all commiserating. They were all miserable. They had a hate on for women. They had a hate on for their exes, and none of them wanted to change. None of them wanted to change the story. And they all got something out of being a victim of their circumstance. And I went, no, this is not for me. And on the flip side of that, I went to a men's weekend, and it was the most misogynistic experience I've ever seen. And I'm sure there are men there, this is going back 8 years, that are still wounded from that experience. Yeah. And it was all about claim your wife, claim your castle, and you're going to claim your life, and these guys are going, yeah, I'm going to go home and I'm going to claim her. And I could just see the girls going, oh, isn't this cute? Oh, I love this. Is so adorable that you're trying this thing out. Oh, and I went, oh God. So I knew, Anthony, that there was a massive gap between what was happening out there for men. And it was almost like the universe says, Dwayne, you're going to create this thing. This is going to be your mission and your purpose to get out there and create something that not only is an empowerment container, but it actually moves men forward. Yes. And I resisted. I have to be honest. I resisted because look at me. Who am I? I was here, but now I'm here. Mm-hmm. But what happened was I realized it wasn't my version of what a remarkable man is supposed to be. Mm-hmm. Every man within him, all your listeners right now, you guys all know what a remarkable man is within you. Mm-hmm. You've been him before. You felt him. And the reality is that sometimes we lose sight or we get off course, we're off track, and he becomes a faint memory or a desire or a dream. Yes. What I wanted to do was create a container and also a roadmap to give men the tools, the resources, and the brotherhood to help him get there.
Mm-hmm. Well, Dwayne, you touched on a lot of amazing points, and I really appreciate how you recognized how there is this overwhelming women's empowerment. And you and I both agree, that's great. That's amazing. And there's nothing wrong with that. But where is it for men? And where is it that men have that information and those resources to empower them? And so I appreciate that all. And it's great that men are hearing this and need to hear it and for them to live a remarkable life. As you mentioned, I think each and every one of them at one point in their life felt it, whether it was, during high school or during college or whatever. There was something that they just felt amazing. They felt good. And then life just kind of maybe just start beating them down, and they were confused about relationships and about friendships and all these sorts of different things. So I have a question for you. Why are men experiencing right now so many societal and relational challenges?
And that is a great question. And for a lot of guys, it is like, well, what the hell is going on? Because a lot of guys were feeling that they had their mojo at some point, but then all of a sudden, where did it go? And they're in relationships and they're witnessing their beloved skyrocket. She's coming home every day fired up and pumped up. And but this is not something that's happened overnight. We're probably 10 to 15 years into this transitional phase that's been happening. And for a lot of guys, it's unconscious. We're being bombarded every day through social media, traditional media, through the school systems, government. It's almost like there's a war on for your testosterone.
Oh, yeah.
And it's not necessarily a malicious thing. It's not out there going, hey, we're anti-men.
Yes.
But you can see it and feel it that men are almost secondary. I mean, you look at like any movie or a sitcom on television today, and you will see a very successful, strong alpha woman, and you will see a beta male, very feminine, doesn't know anything, or he's frustrated and challenged. And if he's married and the wife leaves to go do something and he's left to look after the kids, well, then all chaos ensues.
Yes.
You know, and it's just a tornado of comedy and error. And what's worse, Anthony, is that the 7-year-old little girl is schooling dad.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, dad, we don't use that product anymore. We use this product. Oh, yes. But then the wife comes home, sees how everything is in chaos, and now she has to clean up. She's the responsible one.
Yes.
So it's sending a message, even though it's funny and you get the comedy side of it, but it is a subtle message that men are ratcheting down. And even for you dads out there, there might even be a disconnect as to why your kid does not respect you as much as she or he respects mom.
Oh, yeah.
Because there's this this energy that mom is this, you know, and rightfully so. Moms are kicking ass and doing amazing things.
Yes.
But I am a champion for men, and I'm not here to put my brothers under the bus.
That's right.
It's so important. As this is also happening, in a more, I guess you could say, a spiritual sense, everything is vibrational frequencies, and we're in a feminine energy vibration. And so if women feel empowered now, they haven't seen anything yet. If men are feeling frustrated and confused right now, guys, you haven't seen anything yet.
Yes.
And this is happening.
Dwayne, you hit some great points, because I recognize that those little subtle things that happen in movies, in sitcoms. And I think recently there was a movie, or I think it was Bad Moms, where, you know, the women, they go out and have this amazing time, and the dad is left at home, and he's, you know, just so confused, not knowing what to do. And then one thing that really hit me, and I noticed this, and it touches a nerve with me. And at the very end, I believe, if I remember this correctly, he's all strapped with everything, the baby and the stroller, and he forgets something. Right now, she has him trained. Right now, she has him trained, and he's got the whole setup, and then he forgets one thing, and she's like, "Well, go back and get it," or something. And it's just like, you know, like as though men have never been able to take care of a child, or don't have the skills and the abilities. Yes, we have different strengths and abilities, but not to say that a man cannot do to take care of a child and to be there. And so you hit a lot of great points, and I think more men are starting to recognize these things, and it's unfortunate, because imagine the young men, the young boys that are watching these shows.
Absolutely.
That are being exposed to it, and then are not seeing, or then making fun of dad because maybe he might do the same things for whatever reason, and he's just not, doing something properly, or he can't put up the, he's having difficulty putting the stroller or something together, and the kid's just laughing at him or something. You know, oh, that was part of a movie, and it just kind of adds to the confusion and the inability that men aren't able to do these sorts of things.
Yeah, and the child's expectation of dad, it goes way down.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah. So you mentioned emotional health for men. There was some things in there that you mentioned about emotional health. what importance do you give to a man's emotional health? I think oftentimes we don't talk about this, and we use the word emotional, and men might just like, well, no, I'm not emotional. But emotional health is completely different. And actually, if you'll explain what emotional health is, because I don't think this is a topic that is often discussed.
You're absolutely right. And for a lot of guys, they equate emotion with crying and
Yes,
looking
absolutely.
like a little sissy boy. And that couldn't be further from the truth. Because the reality, emotion is energy in motion. And like energy, it has to move. It has to keep on moving. And for a lot of men, because we have this negative connotation towards emotion, that we do not express it. And what we end up doing is just burying all these feelings and emotions down, and it festers. And if energy is not moving, it'll lock in, and it'll manifest as dis-ease in the body. And I'm just going to move my camera over because the sun is coming over. There we go. The reality is dis-ease, disease, manifests in our body. And for a lot of guys right now, heart disease, cancers, high blood pressure, and sexual dysfunction, is at an all-time high. And we're not talking guys 40, 50, 60. We're talking guys that are in their 20s that are experiencing this now. The little blue pill is now becoming commonplace for men to actually have good sex. And emotion, gentlemen, isn't about you showing moments of weakness, which isn't a bad thing. However, emotion, gentlemen, can be the most powerful thing you can do as a man, because when you hold that energy that you're hurt, you're broken, your the financial situation, your business didn't go the way it was, someone betrayed you, someone's a loss, by sucking it up and going, hey, is that a tear? Is that a tear? No, that's we got to stop that narrative. Guys, if you are hurting and you're afraid of expressing it from that space, get in the car. Just get in the car, go to a parking lot or where you have some privacy, and let it go. And I'm talking not just, that's tough. I'm talking a deep sob. I'm talking about crying until you got nothing left. Because guys, this will be one of the most amazing cure-alls that I could ever prescribe to anyone. Because when you're done, if you've done this before, the last time you had a deep cry, towards the end, you can feel a shift. You can feel, all of a sudden, there's this effervescent or this euphoric feeling, because you're clean. That negative energy that you stacked on top of each other gets to be purged. And if we can change the story from it being weak to being all powerful, and moving these energies, moving this emotion, guys, you'll find your strength, you'll find your power, and then the people that you love get the best of who you are.
That's amazing, Dwayne, that you mentioned how at the very end that children will get the best of who you are. And that's really what this is all about, and just helping men to empower them to thrive, to be the best father they can be, to be the best husband they can be, the best man they can be, in a contributor to society. But more important for them to, I think oftentimes men are just walking unfulfilled. They're unhappy, and they're not really taking an account of their needs and their desires in this life. I think there are so many dreams that men have that they have let go for whatever reason, whether they don't think that it's possible, or just, there's just things that they might just come to accept in their life, that they're a certain age and they just maybe not feel that they can ever accomplish that thing that's really deep in their heart. So I'm really glad you pointed that out, as far as, to do these things. There's nothing wrong with the emotion in that, getting that out and helping yourself will influence how you are with others, or your spouse, your relationship with your children, and even your job, your employment,
No question.
and your business. So how can a man own his own authentic masculine power?
Well, one of the things that as we're evolving, we've always thought that masculinity meant bravado and strength, and it certainly does to some degree. But there's now two types of masculine energy, and we're moving away from what was the egoic masculine. And this is the fight or flight. This is where the little boy surfaces. This is where the jerk, the macho guy, the douchebag, that energy carries with it a negative connotation in regards to masculine energy. What we're moving towards is what's called the authentic masculine. And for a lot of guys, and especially with the Me Too movement and everything else, anything attached to masculinity right now seems to be a negative. And it's almost like we're doing damage control for the man brand. And that should never be the case. As men, we should always be proud of who we are. And we should always be fighting the good fight to support our brothers and to support women. But the authentic masculine is about being decisive. It's about being on point with who you are. It's being and having direction, but it's also about being heart-centered. And so we talked about the emotional side, that you can be decisive and you're strong and you've got that sense of strength, but you're also able to understand that to talk about or express feelings or emotions that aren't serving you or serving your beloved or the people you care about, you're okay to talk about. You're okay to get to the root of it. You're able to express yourself from that emotional place because you now, as the authentic man, recognize that that is a strength rather than a weakness.
Yes.
And so it's imperative, especially if you are in a relationship right now, that you start owning that authentic masculine power. And you do that by being more decisive. Start making decisions in your relationship that move the needle forward, whether that's the household, whether that's with the children, whether that's dating. And it's so important that we start understanding that vibrational frequency of masculine energy. And if you will, I'll just expand on where we're at in regards to feminine energy.
Yes.
I alluded to that we're in this feminine vibrational frequency on this earth, but a lot of men right now are in their feminine energy. And for a lot of guys, they're like, hey man, I don't roll that way. That's not what I'm talking about, guys.
Yes.
When you're in your feminine energy, this is when you're communicating. This is when you're nurturing. This is when you're compassionate. But too many guys have gone too far into their feminine energy, which means they're indecisive. They're really not in control of their state. Their sense of who they are is predicated on other people's thoughts and feelings about them. And what we need to do is recognize that. And if you're in a relationship right now that's like this, it's typically because you're in the wrong vibration as much as she is in the wrong vibration. The challenge that we have, Anthony, is that we don't have a language for it. So we argue about the bills, we argue about the groceries, the dirty dishes, the garage. We argue about all these other things, but what's really happening is, I'm in a vibration. I can't stand this energy. I don't know what it is though, but she's stronger than me and I can't stand it. And she's going, I can't stand this energy. He's so freaking weak right now. And I'm in this energy that I can take on anything, but I don't want to. I hate this energy that I have to have all the answers. I have to do all the thinking. I have to do all the heavy lifting. I'm sick and tired of it. I want to be a woman. I want to be in my feminine.
Yes.
And so these energies have been mixed up and we don't know it. We're not conscious of it. We just know we're in a vibration that we can't stand. And so with the work I do with men in my coaching practice, it's a big part of helping men shift that dynamic. to go from that beta energy to actually moving into that authentic masculine power, so that she feels her champion again. So
Yes.
she feels that safety and that security that she can surrender again and be feminine.
Yes. What that's so where have you, it leads me to my next question, and I think it comes back to your Remarkable Man project, and you briefly just mentioned it now. So what can a man do to be and feel more remarkable today?
Be decisive, gentlemen. Start making decisions quickly. And I want you to also look at responsibility. Instead of pointing fingers about who's to blame for how you are feeling, when you take 100% responsibility for your life, and I'm talking about everything, not just the things that you can go, yeah, okay, I could see that. I'm talking about everything, because the moment you take 100% responsibility, you take your power back. And when you take your power back, now you have options, because you have options on how you feel. All right. So if I'm responsible, I can stop, being so hard on myself. And here's the caveat, is that taking responsibility is not taking blame. Too many people confuse the two, that, I'm taking, it's my fault, I'm to blame. That's not what I'm talking about here. Responsibility is just how you are owning the situation and what you can do to change it. So by taking 100% responsibility for how the relationship is, instead of waiting for her to come and say, I'm sorry, babe, or the relationship with your kids, that they're just teenagers and that's just the way they are. No. Or at work, things are going sideways. Take ownership of it. Take ownership of it. And what can you do from that place? How can I improve this? I am a remarkable man. So therefore, what would a remarkable man do in this situation? And go from there.
Well, that's incredible. I really appreciate everything that you have shared with us today. I believe that it's really a message that men need to hear today. I honestly believe it. Excuse me. I honestly believe this. And I think that I'm really going to encourage men to watch this video over and over and over again, because I think it is an incredible message that really needs to get out to more men, and for men to share this information with others. And Dwayne, how can men get in contact with you?
Sure. You can go to DwayneClassen.com. There's links there. I've also got for the listeners that if you contact me and say that, hey, you saw me at the New Man Health Summit, I will give you a 30-minute discovery session. No charge. I usually charge $297 for the hour, but for anyone that is coming through these links, just say, hey, I was on it. I saw Anthony and saw his program. I will give that to you at no charge. Plus, I've got a lot of great bonuses there. Just go to DwayneClassen.com and give me your email, and we'll go from there. Excellent.
Well, Dwayne, I want to thank you for your time. Thank you for this vital information that I believe will meet up to the theme of the New Man Health Summit, and that's empowering men to thrive. So I want to thank you for your time, and thank you for this vital information that you have provided today. And I'm really encouraging, excuse me, all the men to watch this video. It's going to be like a good book that the more you read it, the often you read it, the more you're going to get out of it each and every time. And I believe that is going to be the case with this video in this opportunity. So I appreciate it, Dwayne, very much. And so thank you all for being here today at the New Man Health Summit, and for listening in. And I really would ask that you pass this information along to more men. This is an opportunity for men to, just as all the information that Dwayne just shared is really, I think, a message that all men need to hear. And I think it really is just perfect for this summit, a new man, to become a new man and really begin to realize the things that can help men, help you to be empowered and to thrive, and for you to live the best life that you can possibly live. So I want to thank you for watching, and I look forward to for more great information that will help you to become the best man that you can possibly be. So thank you for watching. Have a wonderful day.